Did you know that a single decision can take someone from rock bottom to the top? Chris Gardner proved it. He faced the worst adversities. He was jailed, went hungry, and slept in train stations with his young son. Yet he never gave up. Now, imagine turning that reality into a legacy that inspires millions. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But this story is as real as the challenges he overcame. And the most surprising part? What made him an example wasn't just his achievements, but the way he turned every failure into a stepping stone. You might be thinking, but that only happens in movies, right? Wrong. Today, you'll discover the steps that transformed Chris Gardner into an icon of resilience, and how these lessons can change your life too. Picture someone in the depths of despair deciding to transform their life. Chris Gardner was on the brink of collapse, burdened by debts, without a stable roof over his head, and with a young child to care for. Such a reality could crush anyone, yet he did something few can. He used obstacles as fuel. It's fascinating to think how someone can go from a jail cell for unpaid fines to a millionaire's boardroom, isn't it? This kind of perseverance teaches us that even in chaos, there's room for a fresh start. How many times have you felt like the world was crumbling around you? Chris faced that reality every day. Every step was a battle. Staying awake during an unpaid internship, caring for his son, and confronting the harsh reality of homelessness. Yet he persisted. There's no magic here, just hard choices and a clear vision that life could change. Once we grasp this, we begin to see that even the biggest problems hide opportunities. You can't talk about Chris Gardner without mentioning his resilience. Imagine waking up before sunrise, cramming into a packed subway, and spending the entire day committed to something that doesn't guarantee even tomorrow's bread. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what he did. He knew that the effort he put in today was an investment in the future he wanted. And you? Is there something in your life worth that kind of dedication? This is where the difference lies between those who overcome and those who merely survive. What's remarkable is that Chris had no guarantees. He didn't know if his effort in the internship would pay off or if he'd continue living in shelters. Yet, he bet everything because he knew giving up was never an option. What this story teaches us is that in moments of crisis, the real power lies in moving forward, even when the next step is unclear. And it was precisely this strength that opened doors to changes that once seemed impossible. Chris Gardner was an ordinary man facing problems that seemed insurmountable to many. He didn't have a fortune or influential connections, just an unshakable determination to provide a better life for his son. Imagine the pressure of being alone in this battle, juggling overdue bills and lacking a stable place to live. His arrest, caused by something as simple as unpaid traffic fines, marked one of his lowest points. Yet, it was in that moment that the drive to change his reality began to take shape. Chris's struggle wasn't just against poverty, but also against the haunting feeling of failure that accompanies those at rock bottom. Caring for a young child, while barely managing to secure the basics, was a daily challenge. Every meal was a victory, every temporary roof a fleeting triumph. This raw and unfiltered reality reminds us that adversities often test not just our strength, but also our ability to believe in something greater. The bond between Chris and his son was one of the pillars that kept his hope alive. Even during nights spent in train stations and overcrowded shelters, he never allowed his son to lose faith that better days would come. This commitment to his role as a father shows how love and responsibility can be powerful fuels. After all, when someone depends on us, excuses lose their weight, and the only option left is to act, even when everything seems to be against us. Yet, Chris's journey was not without moments of doubt and despair. He had to find strength where there seemed to be none. Amidst the exhausting routine and lack of prospects, he made choices that prioritized the future. This is a lesson we can carry with us. Often, what defines our trajectory isn't what we have, but what we do with the circumstances we face. It was this very mindset that prepared him for the next decisive step. When Chris Gardner decided to accept an unpaid internship at a brokerage firm, he put everything on the line. With no steady income, no home, and a young child to care for, It was a decision that bordered on the impossible. Yet he knew that this opportunity, despite offering no immediate rewards, could be the gateway to a better future. How many times do we hesitate to invest in something for lack of guarantees? Chris teaches us that sometimes risk is the price we pay for a chance at change. The days during the internship were grueling. While his colleagues returned to their comfortable homes, Chris headed to shelters, always with his son by his side. Despite this stark inequality, he never showed discouragement. On the contrary, he dedicated himself more than anyone else, knowing that the effort would not be in vain. His strategy was clear: to prove his worth through hard work. This example shows us how consistent actions can speak louder than adverse circumstances. One of the most striking moments was when, even after being released from jail for unpaid fines, Chris managed to arrive on time for an internship interview. This wasn't just an act of commitment, but a reflection of his determination. Imagine the impression he made by demonstrating such resilience. For many, this would have been a clear sign that Chris wasn't just another intern, but someone willing to do whatever it took to earn his place. During his internship, Chris developed skills that went beyond technical knowledge. He mastered the art of building relationships and adapting to situations. He leveraged casual events like football games to connect with potential clients, something that set him apart from the rest. This proactive attitude offers a valuable lesson. Opportunities don't always come ready-made. Often, they must be created. In Chris's case, these initiatives were instrumental in gaining the recognition he deserved. The internship came to an end, leading to the most anticipated decision of Chris Gardner's life. He had worked tirelessly, often sacrificing what little comfort he had to deliver exceptional results. The moment he was offered a job was a turning point, marking the beginning of a new chapter. This victory was more than a professional achievement. It validated that his resilience and hard work had a purpose. Isn't it fascinating to realize how even silent efforts are always noticed? The respect Chris earned among his colleagues was the result of his unique approach. He didn't just complete tasks. He showed a genuine interest in learning and growing. This kind of attitude is a differentiator in any field, and it's what set him apart during the internship. The recognition came naturally to someone who, against all odds, maintained focus and determination. This is a powerful lesson. Consistency outweighs resources or advantages. His transition into a successful stockbroker was marked by challenges, but also by opportunities he knew how to seize. The work didn't stop once he got the job. On the contrary, Chris maintained the same ethics and commitment that had brought him there. He understood that success wasn't the final destination, but a continuous process of dedication. This mindset shows us that true success isn't just about reaching a goal. It's about keeping the momentum to go even further. Perhaps the most inspiring part of his journey is how he turned adversity into learning experiences. Every challenge he faced during the internship became a key piece in shaping the professional he became. This story reminds us that the toughest moments aren't an end, but a starting point for something greater. For Chris, it was only the beginning of a journey that would prove to the world the power of persistence. What came next? Not only did he climb the career ladder, but he also created a legacy to inspire others. Chris Gardner's journey teaches us that even in extreme situations, it's possible to maintain focus and hope. He transformed each challenge into an opportunity to learn, grow, and prove his worth. This is a valuable lesson. When we face obstacles, the attitude we adopt makes all the difference. A practical example? The next time something feels insurmountable, ask yourself, how can I use this to grow? This kind of mindset changes everything. Another powerful lesson from Chris's story is the role of persistence. He showed us that no matter how many no's we encounter, what matters is continuing to push forward. Think about the times we've given up too soon out of fear of failure. Chris teaches us that every closed door is just a redirection. After all, success isn't immediate. It's built brick by brick through consistency and determination. Chris's work ethic is another crucial takeaway. He didn't just work hard. He worked strategically, using every opportunity to stand out. This reminds us that effort alone isn't enough. It needs to be focused. A practical example? Identify areas in your routine where you can apply more focus and creativity to achieve better results. Small changes can lead to big impacts. Finally, Chris's story reinforces the importance of never stopping dreaming, even when reality feels suffocating. He dreamed of a better life for himself and his son, and that dream kept him moving forward. What inspires us is realizing that dreams don't have to be grand to be transformative. They just need to be important enough to motivate us. And as he proved, the ability to dream big is the first step toward living fully. One of the most striking facts about Chris Gardner was his arrest for overdue traffic fines. Imagine facing the humiliation and fear of missing an important opportunity over something so simple. Yet he turned this episode into another story of triumph, arriving at his internship interview with the same determination. This shows us that even the most humiliating moments can't stop us from moving forward when we have courage and a clear purpose. The instability of Chris and his son's housing situation is another aspect that stands out. They spent nights in shelters and even train stations, yet they never lost hope for a better future. It's inspiring to think about how he managed to maintain his dignity and strength to protect and motivate his son, even in such adverse conditions. How often do we believe our problems are too big without realizing that resilience is a choice we can make?